Yo guys, what's up? This is Ziwi for you Slayer, and I'm bringing you to these LJNs I have here. They're from the 80s. They're old, very old. I mean, they're from my childhood. Most of them I had, when I was a kid. Some of them I actually started collecting when I was like, around 12 years old. I would find them at flea markets and stuff like that. I felt like I've shared this with y'all because I mean, it's a very personal collection of mine that I've had for a long time. They've been in storage. I just finally got them back out and cleaned them up. I'd like to start setting them back up like I used to have them, and like on a shelf or something like that. Let's start off with this thing right here. This is a Acclaim handheld WrestleMania game. All you would do is play as Hulk Hogan against Andre the Giant. Basic buttons here: up, down, wrestle. Here's the back of it. It says Acclaim. I don't have the back piece to the batteries, but it does work. It's been in storage for a while. I just cleaned it up. But anyways, and this belt here, as you can tell, it's plastic. I mean, this is what we had back then as kids. And I mean, it was my belt that we used around the neighborhood when we were kids. Wrestling in the backyard. This was our championship. But I made quite a few belts when I was a kid. But fond memories of this. Let me put this up out of the way. Now to the LJN figures, which is mainly, this is what this is all about. I'll start off with the Hulk Hogan. Oh, Roddy Piper fell over. But anyways, here, Hulk Hogan here, 1984. You can tell he's got some, he's worn out a little bit. The paint's coming off of him and stuff like that when I played with him as a kid. And later years, all I did was kind of put them on shelf and let them, sit on my nightstands and stuff like that. Just kind of like kept them up, put them up. And I finally just got where, I moved so much, I just kept them in a box. But anyways, let's go on with the next one. Here's Hot Rod. You can tell top of his head, paint's coming off, and you can tell how worn out these figures are. But I still think they're cool because they're pretty cool things to have, just to have posted up, just standing around like if you're a collector of wrestling figures. I think these are pretty cool to have. Here's the Macho Man. This was my favorite out of all of them. Like, he was my favorite wrestler of all time. And it was pretty awesome. This one was in 1986, but it was pretty cool. This one I think is kind of rare, and when I was a kid I always thought it was kind of rare because it's Jesse the Body Ventura. I found him at a flea market. You see how discoloration is on his back, stuff like that, where he's been, he's worn out. He's always been one of my other favorite figures. Alright, here's Jimmy Snuka, Superfly. You can tell how wore out he is. These are old figures, man. This one's in 1984. I think he came out with the line when Hulk Hogan did. Here's Andre the Giant, another one of my favorite ones to have in my collection. And this one's in 1986, I believe. These blue trunks. I think they had another figure of him where he had like the fro, and then there was one where he had the singlet, the one that he started wearing at WrestleMania. When he fought Hulk Hogan at WrestleMania 3, he started wearing the singlet, the black. But that's back when Andre was, I guess, a face back then. Here's a Hillbilly Jim, and he's a 1984 figure. You can tell he's worn out. I actually have another figure of him that I found at a flea market a long time ago. Alright, here's this one's gonna be funny because I know what to say for this one. But this is Greg the Valentine Hammer. He's also another one of my favorite figures. I found him at a flea market, and there's a guy on YouTube that I watch a lot. His name's Grim. If y'all never heard of him or anything, you need to check out his channel, Grim's Toy Show. And this is what he would call nailing it, because there's actually a nail stuck into him, into his crotch. I don't know why. I found him like that. But anyways, I'm getting down to the last three here. This guy's the Russian guy. I don't know if it's if I want to say it's Nikita Koloff. This might be him, I'm not sure. And this one's 1984. And he's actually in pretty good shape. Like, paint-wise. I mean, he's a little worn on the feet. Like, on the face just a tad bit. But, I mean, the paint's been pretty good. It stayed pretty good on him. Here's another one of my favorites. Big John Stud. I always liked how he had the stars. And, I mean, it was a cool figure. And I believe he was 1984. He's a little worn out as well. I got him at a flea market. And here's the last one. Terry Funk. This dude's a crazy dude. And I love watching his matches. I mean, he's a pretty awesome dude. Like, if you ever watched him. Even in his NWA days when he had feuds with Flair and stuff like that. I mean, this dude was awesome. Old Terry Funk. He was 1986. Alright, that's all my LJN figures, but also I have some other cool things to show you. If the camera don't run out. I'm just going to do these ones real fast. These are ones I actually bought as a kid, too. I bought these, I think, at like Big Lots. This is when they were coming out. WCW's figures. Here's Ric Flair. Another one of my favorite wrestlers. I got two different Macho Mans. I have the NWO version of the Macho Man. I believe that's what they were trying to do. This is probably like the last line of them. Here's another this was my favorite one. That's the Slim Jim one. That, you know, this one was always my favorite one to have. And I got Lex Luger. And I believe these came out like in the 95 or 96, I believe. And here's, as everybody knows him as Big Show, but he was a Giant when he started off in WCW. They were actually going to try to say he was Andre the Giant's son. I remember that. But also, this is one other thing I got to show before the camera cuts out. Wahoo McDaniel Autograph, which is pretty dang cool. Well, anyways, I hope y'all like this. Please comment, share, subscribe, and I'm out.